Hi, everyone. I'm Peleg Israeli, Director of Global Gaming here at Meta Creative Shop. With me is Laura. Laura, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, I'm Laura Karen. I'm a VP Marketing from Playtika. I joined Playtika actually 4 years ago and started as a VP of Monetization. And now I'm a VP Marketing responsible for brand, creative, and strategy. And I'm very happy to be here.
Great. Well, listen, I'm really excited about our talk. I know we had a couple chats ahead of this, and you shared some big words of wisdom. So I really want to make sure we hone in on some of them. But before we jump straight into it, just for those who don't know, Playtika, Playtika is a leader in the mobile gaming and monetization space. I think you've been around since 2010. Started from the social casino space, but now range across about 15 different genres, and really your growth has been insane. Your headquarters, Playtika's headquarters, are in Israel, but I think you span across above 20 offices worldwide. So really a beautiful success story that the industry knows well. But for those who don't know you, Laura, I'd love to hear just a bit more in depth what exactly it is you do at Playtika.
So actually, I'm managing the brand and strategy team, which we responsible for creative, consumer insights, all the big offline campaigns and talent campaigns. Before joining to Playtika, I was a business unit manager at Unilever. So I moved from the fast-moving consumer goods, which is a totally different industry from the gaming industry. I used to manage the ice cream business unit actually in Unilever, and moving from the fast-moving consumer goods to marketing at Playtika was a really dramatic change for me. And I was lucky to get the opportunity to bring my knowledge in brand building to mobile gaming marketing. And I will share some examples in this session.
Well, great. Listen, it's not every day you meet someone who moves from ice cream to games, but obviously that's been successful for you in Playtika. So
Yeah, all the
definitely,
fun
I'm
things.
interested. I know, no, there's some really interesting connections and parallels there, as surprising as it may be, and I'd love to learn a bit more from how you've done this well. Maybe before we talk about that specifically, let's address the fact that I think Playtika started as social casino, as I said, but over time you've acquired 15 companies. You're now a big global company that had to kind of put together all these different studios and make it work at a global scale. I know you recently went through a big brand. I think it was late 2020, a big rebrand, and I just love to hear a bit more about that process, why you did it, what was the end goal, and pick your brain on that a bit.
Okay, so Playtika went into the branding process after the company had been around for 10 years and was very successful company. So there was no issues actually. And the question was why we need to do it, why we need to go into this complicated mess of a rebranding process. Everyone that did it must know that it's a very intense, emotional process that takes a long time. But at the same time, we needed to pinpoint the story of the company in order to achieve three main goals. The first one is to transform Playtika's brand perception. As you said, Playtika started in social casino games, but yet expanded to different genres, and we needed to define a clear purpose that will be relevant to all the categories that we are actually active in now, and will also be active in the future. The second thing was to bring employees around a very strong brand idea and sense of meaning. Playtika is a company that grew out of mergers and acquisition, and that introduced a new cultures to the company. We had a lot of different cultures inside the company, and it was necessary to tell an accurate story with a clear identity that all our employees could connect to. And the third reason why we did it is to build a story that will connect to the business vision of the company. Playtika started from a mobile gaming company, but defined its mission to entertain the world through infinite ways to play, a very big mission. Because we believe in a basic truth that life needs play, and we can grow by bringing gamification actually to different areas of life. So through a variety of growth opportunities in gaming industry and beyond gaming industry. So after a very intensive branding process that includes actually a workshop inside a company and a lot of research and a lot of talking to different employees, we crafted our new brand purpose, Infinite Ways to Play. We defined our company values to something that everyone can understand and relate to. And we, of course, then redesigned our logo, changed our visual identity guidelines, and made sure everyone inside the company and outside the company know our new organizational belief, and started to implement it inside and outside the company. So it was a very interesting process, I must say. And I was lucky to lead it and to be involved in it, I must say.
Wow, Laura, kudos on that. Quite a process you led, but obviously a very successful one. So great to hear more about that. I particularly love the mission statement you landed on, infinite ways to play. That is so powerful. And the fact that you had the realization that you need to kind of take all your employees and new offices identities and then make put them into the brand and do this together as one team. It's just a very very powerful way to work and to learn from. So thank you for sharing that. Um, I know in our previous conversation, one of the points you mentioned to me is you had the understanding that you want to move from games to brand. And I'd love to hear you elaborate a bit more on that and unpack what that means for us.
Okay. So, coming from the CPG industry, I've learned that there is no replacement for a good story, I must say. And when you have a well established brand with a clear personality and purpose, it's much more easier to pop up to mind to the consumer when he needs to make a decision. And I must say, it also makes it easier for us to make a decision when we know what our brand is talking about. And I think that a strong brand is even important in the gaming industry since the competition is much more fierce. There are a lot of copycats, a lot of different game developers that are entering the market, and also the ability to do only performance marketing becomes more and more difficult with all the privacy restriction and the increasing CPI, and the digital marketing goes to be more and more automated. The main thing that we can control is our creative and our messaging, and this is the way we can create emotional connections to our games and to our brands. And I think that our strength in Playtika is driving growth through our existing brand as well, to our existing users. And we do that through building relationships and engagement with our brands, with our players. So when you have a very clear brand, it's really makes everyone aligned for the same mission, same purpose, and it's much more easy to make decisions.
Wow, I love that. And finally, we're starting to get to how ice cream and games come together. So I definitely understand what you're talking about. It's not something we see a lot in the gaming industry. Many times the advertising is very functional. We think about, just showing the gameplay and what you do with it. And you're talking about a much deeper level, maybe an emotional connection with the game or the brand. I'd love to just hear a bit more of how you do that and how this actually comes to life.
So actually, it means that we are having a deep processes with each one of our studio, defining the brand together with the team, using players' insights from research that we are doing, talking to employees, mapping the competition, and understand and build together the brand identity. I think the most important thing is the collaboration of the people that works on the brand. Usually the people that works on the brand knows the game the best and they know the players the best. So we actually do a workshop that is based on players insight, competition analysis, and then we take it to the marketing plans and into our gaming marketing activities. We build the brand concept and we build around it a 360 holistic campaign that creates a very entertaining content that actually will appeal to potential players and also to our existing players. We call it gametainment, like game and entertainment, because we see that mobile games, especially now since COVID, have become a more popular and legit form of entertainment, and boundaries between TV shows, movie, music concerts, and gaming are really blurring. So the campaigns that we are adopting is actually we want to bring entertainment to our players, and we gradually include more and more gametainment elements inside the game and also in our marketing efforts.
I love that. Gametainment, such a strong concept. And, that's actually a perfect segment to at least a great example I've seen of gametainment that Playtika does with music. She's Bingo. So it's one of my favorite campaigns. Honestly, I couldn't get the song out of my head for about a month, but I'm not going to spoil it. I'd love to hear from you just a bit more about She's Bingo. I think it's a great example of how you bring this games to brand mentality into the work you do. So can you tell us a bit more about that?
Sure. First of all, it's also my favorite campaign, I think, and I think that it was one of the most complex campaign that we ever did. And Bingo Blitz is the number one free-to-play social bingo game. It has over 1 million active players per day. And at some stage, we felt that Bingo Blitz could expand beyond its core audience. Bingo perceived like an old lady game, but actually it can be so much fun and can be a whole family game and a mass market game, and everyone can enjoy bingo. I don't know if you played bingo with your friends, but you should try it. It's really, really fun. And so we saw ourselves, as a market leader. We saw it, our responsibility is to drive the category forward. And this was our state of mind when we planned this campaign. We wanted to make bingo cool again and to expand it to the mass market. So we thought, what can be, a good solution to connect different generation? And the answer, was music, because music usually connect people everywhere across countries and generation. And those are exactly the values that we wanted for this campaign and for Bingo Blitz. So actually we took a hit from the 80s, DISCO, added to music superstars, Luis Fonsi from Despacito, Nicole Scherzinger from the Pussycat Dolls, and The Masked Singer, and created a new brand hit, actually. We created a 3 minutes video clip, amazing video clip with a very high production quality. And we released the video clip actually organically, first of all, in the singer's YouTube channel. We got over 70 million views on YouTube and TikTok and Spotify, top ranking on charts. We even had a really successful TikTok challenge with a dedicated dance. I'm not sure that you will be able to do that. It's a very complicated dance. But we couldn't believe the buzz that we managed to create. And after the release of the song, actually, we went live with a TV and UA campaign. We edited from the full video clip, short version, a very commercial version. And the business results really surprised us dramatically. We increased awareness in US, and the campaign has created a major lift in our daily installs, in our revenue. And I must say that the celebration went also inside the game. Because we took the campaign and we created avatars and community activities and special features, and all of that was around the same concept. So current players could enjoy it as well and felt like we are providing a true game tenant experience. I can tell you that our players couldn't stop singing the song, and let's hear it, just 30 seconds out of it, so you can all enjoy it, and I'm sure that you couldn't stop. You want to be able to stop singing it as well.
You ready? Yeah. Come on. Discover the world with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game, Bingo Blitz. Download now and play for free. Are you coming?
Love this catchy tune. Now you know why this song was stuck in my head for over a month. but seriously, Laura, just hearing the thought process that went into this and the strategy behind it is really mind blowing to me. And several of the takeaways I took from hearing what you said is, first of all, that strong consumer insight and understanding of how to bridge generational gaps and bring bingo to the audience, to the mass market audience through something that's, I guess, culturally appropriate nowadays to younger generations, music and TikTok dance challenges, and all of that is just amazing. I also love the fact that you treated this as a holistic campaign, right? And if you spoke from games to brands, then I think it's a great example, because ultimately you had a activation through TV and YouTube, and then UA, and in the game itself, and avatars and dance challenges. It was really a 360 campaign that did wonders for you. So I know why it's both yours and my favorite, but I'd love to hear where you continued from here, because I know Playtika and your team has led quite a few of these.
Yeah. So this is also one of my favorites. All of them are my favorites, so it's hard to choose. But this one is, I am extremely proud of it, because we took a different angle in this campaign. It was one of our House of Fun campaigns. And actually, we took the gametainment approach here one step forward. And we started this campaign from creating, first of all, content inside the game, targeting existing players. House of Fun is one of our social slot game, which was always known for its great graphics and extremely fun and Vegas-like machines. And we wanted to create different content to our players. And we decided to collaborate with the Penn and Teller, which are famous comedy magic duo from Vegas. And together with them, we created a TV and digital campaign, which they presented House of Fun as even more fun than magic. But the most interesting thing here is that we created actually an in-game mini-series with Penn and Teller that take the players to a mission-based adventure. And this is the very first time that a mini-series is being streamed exclusively within the mobile games. And then we took different videos that we shoot with Penn and Teller for marketing campaigns. And then the funnel was extremely full. We started with Penn and Teller in TV and UA, then they entered into the game, and they actually met a full series of mini-series that is starring Penn and Teller, and the experience was amazing. We saw very high retention in the feature and truly higher engagement rates in our game. And our players loved it. And it was so fun actually working also with Penn and Teller. That were very collaborative and really liked the game, and really was the best fit for our audience.
Hey, buddy, feeling blue? How's this for a pick-me-up? An escape from a bear hug while chained to a canoe that's going over a waterfall! No, huh? I gotta pull out my secret weapon, House of Fun. It is a commercial after all. You can spin hundreds of free slots, win mega jackpots, and so much more! Create your fun with House of Fun. Download for free now. Another jackpot?
So I think this project was really a turning point for us, for the way we think holistically about marketing, player experience, and how we combine both to provide high quality entertainment to our players. This was so House of Fun.
Wow, another big campaign, a game entertainment at its best. And you know what I really like about this is the fact that you have your existing players in mind, and kind of think about how you drive new user acquisition through this, but also how do these campaigns make your customer base feel about the brand, about their loyalty, and it sounds like that's been very successful for you. But just to keep everyone honest here, you know, you make all of this sound very, very easy because you do it so gracefully, but I'm sure challenges come up along the way as well. So I'd love to hear a bit of some of these challenges you face when you go from this games to brands approach.
Yeah. So first of all, it's not easy at all. Every project, I must say, has its own unique story on all the difficulties that we had to tackle during the process of this campaign. So I think one of our major challenges is localization. We are very familiar with the US market, but as a global company, it means that we need sometimes to initiate campaign also outside of our comfort zone in non-English speaking countries where we are less familiar with the culture and also the social codes. And that was the situation when we had to, that we had with Solitaire Grand Harvest when we decided to take over the strategic German market. So the German market is one of the biggest markets in tier one countries, like we call it, and we started to explore it. The market dynamics, the audience, the gaming references, and even our current performance activity there. And we approach this market, we had to identify what is relevant to this market. And we found a German icon we knew our audience would love. We did a research actually to understand if she's familiar, if people like her, if they know her. And we chose Verona Puth, a well-known TV personality that our target audience know her and love her. And we choose her to be our local star who will represent Solitaire Grand Harvest in this campaign. And since we learned about the German market, that the farm theme is a very German concept that German people really feel connected to, we asked Verona to actually explain how Solitaire Grand Harvest bring the fun farm side of life, without all the mess of being, in a farm, milking a goat, or you need to go in the mud, but just, relax in the solitaire mode and in the farm fun of solitaire. We even included a quick funny reference to an old commercial that that she did in the 90s, that was an iconic commercial. And we did an adaptation to our campaigns, and actually it worked pretty well. Let's see it, because I think it's a really fun comic relief to see the video.
Auch gerne mal entspannst und das Landleben liebst, solltest du Solitaire Grand Harvest spielen. Oder du könntest auf einem echten Bauernhof eine Kuh melken, Karotten ernten, ein Schaf scheren, ein Trecker fahren, ein Huhn einfangen, stundenlang in der Sonne schuften, ohnmächtig werden, ein Ziegenbaby auf die Welt bringen, ohnmächtig werden, stinkige Pferdeäpfel ausmisten und schon wieder ohnmächtig werden. Bleib lieber zu Hause und spiel Solitaire Grand Harvest. Für die spaßigen Seiten des Landlebens. Solitaire Grand Harvest. Ernte den Spaß. Jetzt kostenlos downloaden.
Another great example of how you really understand your audience through research, through different kind of strategic insights that you reach, which give you a deep understanding of what would resonate with them, how to communicate with them, and the results speak for themselves. So I just love the amount of effort you put into better understanding your players to really get that competitive edge. Anyhow, I'd love to also learn a bit about some of the adjustments you may have needed to make across your org to bring this whole brand strategy to life.
So we had to make a lot of adjustment, I must say, because within mobile games, the main focus has been, and will always be actually, is on acquisition and performance and conversion and clear measurement. Over the last 2 years, there is a real evolution on that manner. And it started with building new marketing teams, which included experts in strategy, creative, production, consumer insights, research. Most of these roles have never existed in Playtika 2 years ago. And actually, we have teams now with very different people, different type of people, because we have the performance people and we have the brand people. And sometimes it's like, talking a different language. And you need to find the right bridge of brand people to talk to performance people. And it's like, two sides of the brain. And when they find the right match, the magic happens, really. Another
I can only imagine how those conversations began, and definitely require some evolution and learning one another. But as you say, once it's a fully functioning brain, things start to click. What are some of the other challenges that you faced across the org structure or in general when it comes to this approach?
So, I think the main challenge usually when doing brand activity is how you measure it. And moving from a very accurate measurement in performance marketing, to build a different measurement of more holistic and business view, is something that we needed to actually redefine. We needed to redefine our KPIs, and we need to look at it in a larger picture approach, moves from dollar to dollar return, and includes to a more holistic measurement, and look at it from the revenue that we are getting from existing users, new users, dormant users, what kind of a lift we are getting in our search, in our brand awareness, and we implemented totally different measurement methods to the department. So I think this is the main challenge when doing brand activity.
Yeah, and I think it's a perfect, continuation to your whole campaign approach, where you put a lot of effort into this big moment. You do a nice big holistic campaign, and then find different ways to measure it, knowing that it's not just one activity or a week or a certain kind of action that drives revenue, but it's actually everything together that creates this holistic growth story.
Yeah. It sounds easy, but it's really hard, to crack the measurement objectives, and to understand how we are choosing the right media mix to our campaigns, and where it will be the best to put the extra dollar in our campaigns. But I really feel we have the dream job, I must say. And in an industry that is developing and exploding and growing all the time, and as marketeers, it's an amazing opportunity, because we can, if we can dream it, we can do it. There are no boundaries, so I feel very lucky.
Wow. Well, Laura, I know we're about up on time, so I just wanted to thank you again for everything. I've learned so much from you, from our conversations, and I really have to say, there's one thing that truly inspired me, is hearing about how you brought the more traditional side of advertising and marketing into gaming or mobile gaming, and have driven real innovation in the approach and in the way you do things, and ultimately the results speak for themselves. So again, so much to learn from Playtika and from Laura. Thank you so much for your time. And is there any final words of wisdom you want to share with this audience before we sign off?
I think that in marketing, usually you need to try and explore all the time a new thing, and it's a roller coaster, and it's not always easy like it looks like. And there are a lot of ups and downs, but we must make sure that we enjoy the ride. I think that's the most important thing. And I want to thank you for having me, Peleg. It was a pleasure.
Great. Next time in person.